Okay, we all saw the showcase. Everyone's excited for Spider-Man, a little worried about Metal Gear Solid, and we're all still trying to find time to play Tears of the Kingdom. Cut, print, kill the pig. Our AAA overlords are finally hitting a stride with the cutting-edge consoles, and there's hell to pay. There's so much hype in the air, you can't help but drown in it. But it would be a shame to not go over these plucky indie titles peeking their heads out over the next year, so let's take a moment to go over what's in store down in the 20 and under club. If you are interested in any of these games, I will be including additional information for all titles shown in the description, just beneath the like button and the subscribe button. And who could forget the bell? With that out of the way, let's begin with addressing the giant squid in the room. You never know what you'll get out of a walk-in simulator. There's a fine line between groundbreaking, life-changing, keep your whole body shaking, or just kinda doing nothing. That is, unless you're talking about this team. Back on the PS3, there was only one studio with the distinguished title of getting any use out of the 6-axis, and that game company was that game company. Is that right? Flow was aight, flower was tight, but it all came together with the release of Journey. No one was truly ready for a game like this, a breathy adventure that wordlessly takes you through a desert by the flowing stream of seamless co-op. You see, independent abstract experiences are a dime a dozen now, but this was truly pioneering work, so much so that a handful of these devs abandoned ship to dive deep into the waters of ABZU, which in my opinion perfected that style of game. Sticking to what they know, Sword of the Sea follows the Wraith in their quest to turn the Petra-like city elements we saw in Journey into the lost oceans of ABZU. It's probably not actually tied together in any way, but we'll see. I'm extremely stoked about the pro skater sections with the hover sword. We all agree that more temples should include half-pipes. It's an easy bet to say this game will be breathtaking and probably pull a few tears out of your skull. No word on a release date yet, but I figure we should give them as much time as they need. And speaking of taking as much time as you need, Silksong has been delayed so hard that the guy from Hotline Miami decided to make his own Metroidvania. We don't know much about this title, but the art style looks like it was straight off of a prog metal album cover, so I'm down to drink this Kool-Aid. From the elevator pitch, it sounds like you wake up in a sarcophagus and tasked with destroying ULTROS, sort of a System Shock style of defeating the boss from the inside. The official website talks about a loop-based gameplay, which either means that this will have roguelike elements or just be brutally difficult. My money is on both of these being true. On the more ethereal side, we should expect this title to explore meta themes of mental health, life, death, and the karmic cycles through deep lore and environmental storytelling. If you didn't want to wait until 2024 to do all that fun stuff, you could always play Gris, another game super focused on all the minor complaints of existence from a studio that just announced a new project. No matter what you think, Nomada Studios always gets two things right: gorgeous artwork and making you cry. Neva looks like they doubled down on both of those elements, placing the trailer right in the middle of the showcase so we can all watch an animal pass away. Thanks! The website states this game will be about love, identity, growth, and courage, really trying to hit the word count on that one. You'll join your wolf companion on an adventure through a rapidly dying world, boasting that as your bond grows, your interactions evolve, which sparks a small hope of interesting platforming, as well as a frightening flashback to The Last Guardian. It also seems like they'll be including combat this time around. I have no idea how this will play out considering how narratively dense the previous title was, and it would be strange to touch on the subtle sadness of each day growing darker right next to a combo meter. Jokes aside, Gris was a brilliantly deep and meaningful game that expertly cut to the core of the quiet struggles we all face, and I get a feeling like Neva will do the same. All I'm trying to say is, they follow up this gut punch trailer by immediately showing this.
Only one person can prevent the catastrophe that would unfold. Very funny.
I'm certain there's an editor out there that got a kick out of doing this, and buddy, I am proud of you. I can't say that I'm super interested in this cat game, but this cat game, is gonna be a banger. Revenant Hill is the follow-up title from the team that brought you Night in the Woods. Shout out to all my 20-something postgraduates that still have no idea what they're doing with their life. Night in the Woods did a great job at making us all stare at the monster in the mirror.
Should have warned you earlier, some of the jokes are sad.
Taking place in 1919 and starring Twigs the Cat doing everything in their power to pay the rent. Again, shout out! I am so happy to see that unique art style make a return, and it looks like this will be more of a grounded experience, like a pseudo-historical account from a rural period, while keeping some of that abstract charm we saw before. Just going off this team's previous writing chops, I am completely down for this adventure. Before we get to the finale, let's take a step away from the PlayStation crustacean recreation to talk about other indies on the horizon. I didn't completely vibe with Hyper Light Drifter at first, but over time I grew to truly appreciate its shattered story arc and undeniably gorgeous visuals. Just like Risk of Rain, our sprightly romp is getting the full polygonal treatment. Just off the trailer, this sequel looks extremely promising, breathing new life into that dashin', shootin', lightsaber lootin' gameplay. It's like they were furious that Fury's follow-up didn't have enough action and decided to rectify the situation. The dev blog states that this will be a multiplayer rogue-lite open-world adventure. It's like Heart Machine was asked which hot-ticket genre they wanted to tackle, and they just said, yeah. While being another hoverboard game, they still squeeze in a paraglider, and with an art style like this, I assume it's only a matter of time before we breathe in that wild. It's a safe bet that this game will be stunning. I'm just hoping for a high frame rate and a strong synthwave soundtrack. I ain't gonna talk about Pizza Tower. Mostly because it's already out and I plan on really talking about it in a later video. But in the past decade or two, without any real Wario Land representation, it's wild to think that we're getting two titles waving the garlic-soaked banner in the same year. ANTONBLAST has wild-ass Game Boy Advanced-ass energy, bombastic, really fantastic music with a visual design right out of Cartoon Network circa 1999. Just leave it to the indie community to truly understand that all we want out of our gaming experience is to be an angry guy that breaks stuff. Psych! You already know I'm trying to take chill photos on my hot summer break. Dordogne takes Boku no Natsuyasumi's concept and paints it with the same brush Bill Watterson used on his Sunday strips. I can't believe I got that sentence on the first take. Whenever I see a game look this good, I always fear that the cards may be stacked. I've been suckered into a good number of striking games with little else to show for themselves, but the promise of exploring the French countryside in a region renowned for its art and architecture makes this title a pleasure to look forward to. And while we're talking about hand-painted games, Planet of Lana was a game I was extremely excited for after the first trailer dropped, then I forgot about it, saw Hua released a few months later and vaguely thought they were the same game and now realize how foolish I continue to be. Though I have yet to play it, this title released a few days ago and is getting exceptional feedback from the community. If you're anything like me when it comes to brilliant illustrated game worlds, I would check this out. If you have played it, let me know what you think in the comments. Without further delay, let's get to the title we're all excited for. The Plucky Squire is the first title from All Possible Futures and is being published by Devolver Digital, one of the three lords of good indie publishing. If that's not enough of a pedigree, the studio was co-founded by the art director of Pokemon Sword and Shield. Do with that information what you will. This flat view game that plays like Zelda and looks like Chicory completely flips the table with the turn of the page. When I was a preteen, I remember watching the Little Big Planet trailers and getting this excited glow well up in my chest just thinking about all the great things this game has in store. And this is the first time a game has stoked that same excitement in me. The creativity and unique gameplay options are seemingly endless. The art style is bold while completely confident. The environment is like a fully realized playroom from Smash Brothers. And all of this is just from one trailer. Who knows how deep this rabbit hole goes? For me, without a doubt, this is the most exciting indie game on the horizon, and luckily it seems like it will be here within the year. That's just about everything I wanted to talk about. I get this feeling that we're about to be inundated with some instant classics very soon, and I wouldn't be surprised if we all get a little paralyzed by choice. But if you ask me, that's a great problem to have. Alrighty, I want to give a huge shout out to Brumna, Lee, Post Mesmeric, Seth Peacock, and Vindalin for their support on Patreon. If you would also like to support the channel, please consider joining the Patreon, becoming a member on YouTube, or just joining the Discord. As you can probably guess, this is kind of an in-between video. I'm working on a much bigger project at the moment, but I still wanted to stick to the weekly videos. It's also really fun to try out the whole games journalism thing, talk about things that I'm excited for, new releases that are on the horizon, so please let me know if you enjoyed this video, or if you didn't. Either way, really good feedback to have going forward. As far as the big project, hopefully it will be done by Saturday. If you go over to my actual Patreon, I've been doing a bunch of updates on what the next videos are going to be, how the process is, kind of more behind the scenes deal. But as far as this video goes, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here and all the support. It really does mean the world to me, and I hope you have a great day.